Congressman Gerald Ford from Grand Rapids because of the characteristics to which you just referred. And when he was tapped to be his press secretary, he was delighted to leave the our side of the street and go to the dark side and go into government to represent Jerry Ford because he truly believed in the man. I don't remember how many days it was before he resigned, but it was immediately after the pardon. And he said, I resign because I cannot represent a man who pardoned Richard Nixon, who was supposed to come in and heal the nation, and he pardoned Richard Nixon. And I've never forgot Terhorst. He is a hero in my mind from, my side of the street, the journalistic side of the street. Great
Last
man.
thing I want to say, because other people remember, sometimes they let these things slip out, right? So Chuck Schumer, back in, I think it was either November, December, he was doing an interview, and he talked about the intelligence community, and the quote was like, you have to be careful because the intelligence community can screw you 6 ways to Sunday. I think it was a CNN interview. If I find it, I'll put it in that group chat. But sometimes
Well, he doesn't like the intelligence community. He doesn't like or trust the intelligence community. Remember that.
Yeah.
So, okay. Thank you, Daryl. We're right at 6 o'clock, so we will no longer add folks to the stage, but we will go into extra time so that everybody on the stage gets a chance to talk, and maybe, if the timing works out, when Steven takes the microphone, it'll be 20 minutes after the hour, and I'll be able to say it's 4:20 somewhere. Les.
Thank you for the connection between, the close relationship between Clinton and the Trumps. In particular, Clinton is the one that put his sister onto the federal bench. And they would go on vacation.
Exactly.
And they would go on vacations, which is not surprising because the two daughters, it's a very small group of kids that are in their position, so they were one of the few peers. I have a question, and you know about Robert Maxwell, who's Ms. Maxwell's father, and he was an interesting character in the UK with, and I don't know if he was in the news business or what his business was, but he had been he had been disgraced as well, and Mr. Trump's comments that are captured on videotape don't age that well. Just saying that Jeffrey Epstein likes them on the young side. That does, with a smile. That doesn't, you kind of wonder if what he had seen, and making fun of it doesn't age well.
So Robert Maxwell was involved in the media. He was a mogul in the United Kingdom, and he was a former member of Parliament, and he was involved in controversy over a pension fraud scheme, and then died mysteriously at sea. So that's the story about Mr. Maxwell. And what was the last point that you just made, Les? Because I was going to respond to it and it eludes me.
Oh, it just seemed, there's stuff on videotape with Mr.
Right, thank you. So Michael Wolff, the biographer of Epstein, who did 100 hours plus of interviews, much of it on tape, claims that in one of those interviews, when he was talking about Epstein's relationship with Trump prior to the breakup over the real estate deal, Epstein asserted that they were best friends and brought out a Polaroid photograph or a number of Polaroid photographs to illustrate the point. He was very forthcoming. Now, I don't know whether he was concerned about his own mortality at that moment and wanted his side of the story on the record, because who would have thought that he would be as forthcoming as he was to Wolf? And according to Wolf, one of those photographs showed then private citizen Donald Trump with Epstein and a topless young lady of indeterminate age sitting on Trump's lap. Now, she could have been of age, and you may think that that is, totally inappropriate, and it might freak you out if in fact the story is accurate. But it lends credence to what an earlier caller said, I think it was Money, about the credibility of the president's assertions today that he knew nothing about what was going on. And this was at the Palm Beach house. This was at Epstein's Palm Beach mansion. That Trump had no knowledge of what Epstein was up to, despite their close relationship, until he found him acting creepy at Mar-a-Lago. I don't think we've ever heard the details of that alleged creepiness at Mar-a-Lago, but to me, when I heard this description of this Polaroid out of the mouth of Wolf, I'm thinking, well, that sounds creepy to me. So, just something to consider. Thank you, Les. We'll go to Merrill, Stephen, Chris, and our prodigal son, Odian Ware, who used to be a daily participant here, but is no longer here on a daily basis. But I get reports on you, sir. I get reports on you. I know you're active on Clubhouse, and I'm glad to hear that you are alive and well, and see now that you're alive and well. Merrill.
Okay, just a few things. Not some major, some to think about. Number one of the young girls, I think she was about 14 years old. She was procured by Maxwell at Mar-a-Lago. She did a deposition. So, and I've heard the transcript of it. I've heard the transcript of that. That's number one. Number two, if you recall, Trump's interview with Howard Stern, among them, he talked about how he would go just walk right into this universe, their dressing rooms, so that he could see them while they were dressing, see them nude. He also, if you dig deep, there's something about him even having gone in, possibly gone into his juniorness. These were teenagers. And
Right, but Epstein wasn't involved in those instances.
no, we're talking about Trump's. Okay, you're right. All right, that's
us who are not in that strata. So that's what.
pretty well. Gerald Ford said he had to ask.
But by the way, Merrill, we're having a hell of a time hearing you. You're in, you're out, you're in, you're out. It sounds like you have a microphone that's clicking in and clicking out. Yes, it's better now.
Okay.
Now it's bad. Are you using a headset?
No, is still bad?
No, now.
Okay. One of the things was that Gerald Ford said that he had to ask his wife before he made the decision. I thought that was very smart. The other thing is that I'm not so much interested in the list. A-list. We don't know what A-list is. Where did it originate? I like the files. The files are going to have all 16 years of investigation this man was undergoing, was being done on him. People were coming there. He wasn't going a lot of places. Everybody was coming there.
So Merrill, if there's 16 years of investigation into his activities involving underage children.
Not just underage children,
All right, but let's just talk about the underage children. If I am under investigation by my local police department, the county police, the state police, the FBI,
when we look at all of the
because
financial
my neighbors
aspects
have reported
of this case,
that young girls are in
and
and
dive
out of
into the
my
lawyers
townhouse.
and the
And
financial
people are coming up
aspects
in
of Jeffrey Epstein.
limousines
I think
or
we're
in
going to do a deep dive
Ubers,
on that tomorrow.
older
And
men
what I'll do is
who,
since it's Saturday, I'll have more
come
time
into my
beforehand.
house
I will
at the same time as these
get the
girls,
FOIA template and post it
which
on
would
my
cause them to
post it on
believe
my pin post,
that I was
and then we'll do
offering
a
these
community
girls
drive
up
for
to
FOIAs,
entertain
and
these
we'll have some
gentlemen.
experts in FOIAs
And
come up and
they
explain to us
launched
the
their
process,
investigation
and maybe we'll even
for
make
16
a instructional
years
video
into
on how to do
my,
that.
I would
So,
hope it would be like
hopefully
16
that answers your
days,
question about want to repost the
not
space.
16
Let's
years
go to Dawn. Go
before
ahead, Dawn.
indictments were sought.
Let's go
But
to Dawn.
16 years into my
If
doing
you're up
this
here
in
and
my
you don't have your hand
townhouse,
raised, you're not talking, I'm going to drop you down. Let's
they're
go to
gonna
chat.
know
Go
who
ahead,
the
Jeff.
men are who came in and out of the
I
townhouse.
just wanted to tell you how
I
much
agree.
I appreciate you.
And
Jim.
they are gonna, they're gonna prosecute them as well. Nobody, I seem to be the only one, maybe there are others, I hope there are others. Nobody is asking, what about them?
Well, you have to wonder whether or not all of them slept with young girls. We don't know that. And I
But the investigators ought to have an understanding of that. You know, as you know as well as I do, especially with the feds, even if they believe that somebody is guilty of something, they're not gonna lay charges unless they are, in their minds, 100% sure that they're gonna get a conviction, because it's better in their minds.
Probably mute glitch. Repost the space, everybody. We're just getting started. Go ahead, Rep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad to see that it looks like they're doing something, but I'm always worried that we just get nothing burgers, no arrests, no prosecutions. It's now almost August, and the president has been the president for 8 months. They tried to blow his head off. They did everything they could do to make him seem like he's a Russian bed pisser. I mean, I think as Americans, we shouldn't be afraid of exacting justice, making arrests, using lawfare, and dragging these criminals into court and bankrupting them. So the sooner we see charges and arrests, the sooner we'll know they're not just giving us nothing burgers. Otherwise, it's just communication spam.
Sure. Okay. Let's go to George. Go ahead, George.
Yes, sir. I apologize if I insult your.
They kicked me.
they weren't saying anything. That's very likely. It's likely that people did know, but they didn't want to say anything. But yes, he was being investigated for that. He was being investigated for the money.
Okay. So again, to use my analogy, I hire a catering company to come and feed all these people. So if I'm the law enforcement agent trying to investigate me, I'm going to go to the catering company and I'm going to put the squeeze on somebody there or some people there to find out what the hell was going on in Gary's townhouse.
I agree. Just
Well, why didn't they do that?
remember something, Gary. They had 16 charges against him before, and he got what?
There was a deal. There was a deal
That's a deal.
to get
Yes.
and it was Comey's daughter who picked up the gauntlet, not in Florida but in the Southern District of New York, and that eventually led to his and Maxwell's convictions.
Absolutely.
And what does she get for that? She gets fired.
That's retribution. Okay, now the other thing is we talked about Trump said he never heard from Bondi about that his name was in the files. Did anybody remember that a few days ago he said he never knew that the attorney from the DOJ was going to be meeting with Maxwell? He was asked that. He said, really, I hadn't heard that.
Here's the thing about Donald Trump. He may not have heard through official channels, but he, as we know, he sits in front of the TV. He sits in front of the TV and he's watching cable news. And so if cable news is reporting that this, and everybody was reporting it, that this meeting was to occur, certainly the President of the United States did, even if all the President's men and women conspired to keep that away from him. Of course he knew.
Of course he knew. and the meeting, they've had two. Now, a criminal, and these are chummy attorneys, and one of them was, Trump's attorney. These are chummy guys, and criminal attorneys do not go and have their client meet with anybody unless they know, first of all, what is it you're looking for? What are you going to do with it?
And what am I going to get out of it? What's my client going to get out of it? That's number one.
Exactly. So there's that. And I think that Trump is looking for, it is not necessarily a distraction as much as it is he wants more. And then he can use that. Because if you talk about Epstein wanting to hold things over people, that's Trump's nature too. So when we know that, so that could be what this is all about. And like you said, maybe they can't just commute her sentence to pardon her. She's going to get a deal if she gives them something they can use, bearing in mind that she was also indicted for perjury. So they've got that going also. But I do believe that Trump also, he held on to these files. He knew what was in the files before. If he knew about Obama, why didn't he tell us about Obama before? Why now? So everything, all the different things, the hedge people that he mentions, which there were a lot of people in finance that were meeting with Epstein, because that's what he was doing. He was saying he was representing in finance and investment. So yeah, there's a lot there. But I'm not going to say that everybody, including Trump, I'm not going to say that they're pedophiles. I'm not going to say they did anything. But I don't care about a list. You tell me where the list came from, how it was put together. Tell me the files. I want to see the files.
Brought up a real important point, and that is what good is Maxwell to them since she's been convicted of perjury? That speaks to her veracity. Of course, they may not be interested in her being beneficial to them in a court of law where her veracity will be attacked, but more in the court of public opinion.
Bearing in mind, she never testified. She never testified in her trial. So if she's got something to say, Trump wants the names. He wants to know not only who maybe slept with people, but who was there. Who were the people that you always saw there? You never saw me, right?
Well, I want that list too. Thank you, Meryl. Stephen, and if you speak for 4 minutes, you'll be on at 4:20 something.
Well, it's always 4:20 somewhere, regardless of what time zone you're in. So we're good, It's 4:20 for somebody, somewhere. That's only.
See, this is what happens. This is reefer madness, buddy. You smoke so much you can't even read the clock.
Quit it. But no, for real, you bring up some really good points. I was hearing somebody argue for, about the list, and arguing that, that these people were just going to get a massage. And I'm like, well, massages cost money, period. And happy endings cost money, period. If you're going and getting a massage and receiving a happy ending, you're guilty of pandering.
Well, I don't even care about the pandering. I care about the age of the masseuse.
Right. Well, this was all regarding, I think there was one girl that gave her testimony about this, or this one massage therapist or massage person, because nobody knows if she was a legit massage therapist. But it just amazes me to the lengths that the people who want to let Trump go or like end the investigation or don't care about the list or don't want to see the documentation, because Meryl was absolutely correct. If there's 15, 16 years worth of investigation going on here, not only was Epstein doing his own dirty thing, but believe you me, the intelligence community was doing their dirty little thing too. Because if you don't think they want dirt on people just as much as Epstein wants dirt on people to control and manipulate the situations at hand, well, you're just like living in a bubble, and don't know anything about the intelligence community, because, well, that's how the intelligence community gets things done. Well, we know this about you. So if you don't comply, well, this will come out. And, but to the extent that people are willing to just reach outside of the box and like say, oh, no way in heck that so-and-so, went to Epstein's Island and, was asked, granted favors to Epstein, that, the massage and the happy ending were part of that, and or ignoring the fact that somebody was paying for that massage and happy ending. And if you wanted to get dirt on somebody, you said it earlier, freaking you're in a room where, happy endings, cocaine, and you're a cop and all this stuff is happening, well, you're guilty of complicity, and letting things happen and going against the oath that you took. And that's part of being in the crooked side of law enforcement, is that you are compromised. It's very difficult to keep an uncompromised position in said position because you're put in those situations. And I don't know, who, where, what, why, and how. But the obvious point, like you stated, if they were investigating you for having all these young girls at your house and all these old men coming in on a consistent basis, well, it doesn't take much to put two and two together. But it's not. It doesn't really surprise me. But for some reason, I'm still like, wow, in awe of the ability for people to just ram their head in the sand and go la 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 for this person. In particular Donald Trump, who's already been convicted of felonies. He's already been, proven to be a liar, who's already, denied being on the list, even though and denied even seeing the list. And he knew he was on the list well before any fucking list was probably even discovered, because he knows his relationship with Epstein. And I would be shitting my pants if I knew this was all about to come to light. And yeah, I am sure, positive, there are many politicians, many up-to-the-up people on that list, and each one needs to be investigated individually and brought to freaking justice. Those girls need to be found. They need to give their testimony in safety and sanctuary where they're not going to be exposed, because they have that right. They're victims. And I believe the majority of the reason is that for 110%, there are so many people on that list that not only the CIA or the intelligence community has dirt on it, doesn't want to lose that dirt on them, and still wants them to be in their positions of power so they can use that dirt on them. This goes way deeper than Trump, way deeper than Epstein even. And, he was just a facilitator in my mind. And he was getting tons of favors and being put in a position to have leverage over people. And it's a rare person that will not take advantage of those situations. And, the people that are on the list that did not participate, again, they were probably not freaking ignorant of it. Because I don't know about you, but I'm a man. If I was like, hey man, I just got a massage and she gave me a happy ending, man, I didn't even need to ask for it. I mean, I'd be telling everybody at the party.
And
like,
not
hey,
only
man,
that, she
happy
was
ending from the
14 years
massage.
old, man.
Yeah, no, I get it. And that's sick and twisted, and I can't, and another argument they put forth, well, what's the legal age of consent? And I'm like, there is no legal age of consent for prostitution, buddy. Prostitution is prostitution, and if you're a woman giving out handy J's after a freaking quote-unquote massage, I don't know about you, but I've seen plenty of massage parlors. Go down.
You know a lot about these massage parlors, Steven, so thank you for your insight. We're going to move on.
You know, I got friends.
Yeah, I'm sure. So thank you, Stephen. We'll go to Chris and then Odie. Where before I go to Chris, I just want to say, because the previous caller mentioned the police, they, and this is a little off topic, well, maybe way off topic, but I just want to address what he said. The police have two other things that contribute to this kind of cover up. They have something over you kind of thing, and that is the blue curtain and qualified immunity. Now, some of that's being busted open by cameras, but that adds to the protection that's already built in when it comes to holding police accountable when they violate people's Fourth Amendment rights. And I would say that it's sort of like going to Vegas. The House always has the advantage. In these cases, the cops have the advantage, with the exception of when it's captured on video. Chris and Odienware.
Uh-oh, I'm going that way. No problem. Gary, you've done that thing again I like, where you make a thought-provoking conversation out of something that may just be able to sweep under the rug. Great job, Gary. Another great topic for another great day.
It's not me, it's the people who contribute like yourself.
Well, I'll take some credit, but it ain't up to me. I don't make the topics, and I missed your monologue. Normally it's really good, but I'm sure you've given people a lot of thought-provoking things since I've been here. Now, let's start from where you started at. Gary, I'm actually going to blame you for the reason Trump won't be able to shake this Epstein files. And the reason I say that is not because you were there and you have detailed information. No, it's because you are giving thought-provoking conversation that is going to leave us to continue to think about this even after the 5 weeks of them trying to shut down Congress. The reason I say that is because the questions that you're asking in here are the questions anybody that has ever had a RICO in their community knows. It takes about 5 to 8 years before that RICO gets to about 98%. They don't need 16 of them. They know everybody coming and going when they write that RICO out. They are investigating every single catering company in your example, or every single hired vendor that could have been in place of those crimes prior to those crimes getting out in the public knowing about the RICO, or any type of investigation done by the FBI. They have 16 years of this information, and we all know it. Now, we all know that Trump can't shake this because Trump has a problem doing the shaking correctly. He is literally shaking in his boots. And every chance he gets, he wants to defame the next person or pass blame on the next person instead of standing in front of this and saying, like everybody in here kind of said, well, he was a friend of mine. I did not know what was going on. Here's the documentation. I'm also with Merrill. I don't care about a list. The list can be compiled by the files once we all get the files. Because if you give us the files, then we can dictate who was there and how long they were there and what they possibly went for. And then you can go investigate the actual victims and give the victims either a voice or give the information or the victims, what is it, not deposition, but when they give their accounts of it all. We could get that out the files.
Victim statements.
Victim statements, thank you. We can get those out the files. So assuming that we need another 6 months, 8 months, 2 years to get this information when the documentation and the files have already been compiled. Thank you, Pam Bondi, for opening up your big mouth and telling the world that you had all the files sitting directly on your desk, so we at least know that they're real. Thanks, Trump, for saying, hey, we're going to release these documents the moment I get back in office because we're going to get those criminals out of here, those Democratic criminals out of here that was going to Epstein's files. Thank you guys for pushing the narrative enough for now us to have thought-provoking conversation about why are y'all hiding it. See, it was easy when you wasn't trying to hide it and you said you were going to do it and then you were going to release some and not all, and then you did release what people thought would have been enough, but everybody knew that wasn't enough. But you played the game so long that the road ended. But the game's still playing. Now your toes is at the end of the ledge or the end of the cliff, and you have to jump now. And it's crazy to witness it. And we'll go to the guy, so I don't want to hold you up too long because I think right there just basically told us. I just want to ask you a question honestly. I didn't want to go into all the details and everything, but the Ghislaine Maxwell thing is very, very interesting to me. It's because That woman had the rights and the ability to speak for herself, to free herself from a lifetime of prison. You know what she didn't do? She didn't utilize all the name information that she had to free herself.
Well, as Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney keeps saying, whenever anybody will listen, my client is not.
She did not give all the information to a person that could have saved herself. Why wouldn't she save herself with all that information? Instead, now, hello?
Yeah, I answered you prematurely because your audio dropped out.
I'm sorry.
I said, as her attorney repeatedly says to anyone who will listen, my client is not suicidal. That's a message he's sending, that if she suddenly ends up swinging from the rafters of her cell, she is not suicidal.
Well, Gary, and that's funny because my look at this is she's not going to be suicidal.
Well, that's your point. That was your point.
Well, just yesterday, she showed back up to prison with a box of goodies.
Right.
And who gets a box of goodies? Normally, the person who works with the people.
Well, the important thing is the reason she kept her mouth shut. It could be extrapolated from what her attorney said. The reason she kept her mouth shut, as you pointed out, by not revealing the names, is because she is not suicidal. What he's intimating is, had she released that stuff, she may have suddenly committed suicide. That's what he's intimating.
Well, again, I'm with you on, hey, if they had 16 years of documentation on this situation, we shouldn't have to wait another 6 months to figure out if this information.
Right, and you're absolutely right that only in the most complex of cases, which this may very well be, does it go even 5 years. So
yeah,
that was
I've watched
accurate.
many in my city to take down 40 plus people in less than 8 years.
Oh, they do it in months usually.
And that's my gist of that part of the conversation. But that also is why personally I don't believe he'll be able to shake this, is because people like you who are continuously asking the thought-provoking question that takes that top layer off. Somebody also said that, you know, those people were high-profile people in those places, and maybe they wanted something over them. Yeah, I'm sure if they had that documentation, it would be hard for any intelligence to want to give that information up, because intelligence is the power. I think we see that currently with the Republican Party and how Donald Trump can tell everybody that I can do what I want to do. I'll primary you if you don't follow my rules, and everybody has to do what I have to say, because intelligence, current intelligence on doing that to people is being able to know that you can sue or take them to court or primary them. That's the intelligence. The same intelligence goes with the documentations of these P-files of people that actually was involved in that at the highest levels of our either government or our financial circles in the country. Hey, that information should come out, but we all know that if it did come out, it could shake this country to a position of failure. And I think it should, because I'm one of those people that says children deserve to be saved at any cost in this country, in any country in this world. Children should be the first instance of hurt people who deserve to be saved. I think God, or the Bible actually spoke about protecting children and women, and I think this would be both of them. So if we have the Christian-based religion people in here, I don't want to, no disrespect to anybody's religion, but if you have a sense or inkling that you have any Christianity beliefs, you would understand that this would be the perfect time to stand up on those and make those people have to stand up on them too, who told you that they were running or being politically driven by those factors of doing things right by the Christian faith. This would be it, making sure the children and the women are completely safe by exposing the criminals and the pedophiles that would have did this to these people and got to go under the radar because they got air quote the big fish, when he honestly might have been just the smallest fish in the pond and the easiest to catch up on. Hey guys, thank you, Gary. You do a great job every time, man. Keep going with the room, and please don't let this die down, because this is the beginning of opening up our world into a new world. And hopefully we don't have AI take over where we can't do this type of stuff, because they dictated that we can't anymore before we get real truth. Real truth needs to come before AI takes us over. And I land there.
I actually did an experiment involving AI yesterday, and what I asked it to do it did so fast and so well. And I understand that it is a job that there are thousands of people who are gainfully employed doing that work. And it just took the task I gave it and it spit it out in like 3 seconds, literally.
Well, Gary, the information I'm speaking of is if AI gets the ability to, let's say, do mass surveillance or some type of hard police work
Oh,
style.
I'm sure that's going on already. I'm sure that's going on already.
What I'm saying is, if that becomes the case, then we get open to it and allow it without any of this information. Once you start speaking about this information in spaces like this, Gary, I would have to be concerned for your health, your safety, because we didn't get the information prior to the big wig, the people at the top who could have been influenced or doing these things to these people, now have the power to control us in that manner. Hey, we won't have this conversation tomorrow. Why? Because Gary had 3 guys in black suits show to us out, so we don't see Gary anymore. And that's the biggest fear that I had, is we need this type of information before the big takeover of information, AI information, because who's to say how they utilize it and try to control us back down to where we don't actually have these type of conversations or speak of these type of things, because we don't have control of it anymore. And I'll land there, like I said. Thanks.
The technology is there already, Chris. They're using it in the Chinese Communist Party is using it, and everybody's required to have a smartphone, and the smartphone tells them where they have been, who they've had contact with, and if you have contact with the wrong people, then you can have your ability to get on public transportation taken away from you, the amount of food that you can get at the store reduced. And so if somebody is saying something that is unpopular to the government there, and he or she is my friend or my coworker or my relative, and I visit them or I communicate with them, there will be an alert through their algorithm that says that I've had contact with that person, and I will be receiving punitive measures. It's all designed to prevent that person from spreading their opinions that the government there does not want discussed. So what Chris is talking about is not a hypothetical, only in terms of whether it ever is implemented in the United States, but the technology is already there. David, I'm not going to be able to get to you because you came on the stage too late, but Odeonware, you get the last.
Thank you very much, Gary. It's been a long time. I come sometimes, but I've been so busy. So worked up now because I have to work harder now. All the things I told you before the elections so that Trump is going to destroy your judiciary and Trump is going to make a mess. Are you hearing me, Gary?
Yes.
Trump is going to mess for America. And I think that it's going to demystify the greatness of America. All things are coming to come. Building is. Trump is going to destroy America, so I'm just here on the sidelines waiting, taking all my predictions I said before the election. But let me go to the Epstein case. Trump is such a fool that he made noise about Epstein. Should I just keep quiet? Nobody really cares about Epstein. I don't care. I mean, I wish him the worst. But why were you making noise about it? Why did you make it a campaign issue? Now you can't fulfill. Trump is listed there. In fact, today I just saw news from an ABC reporter where the DOJ is going to give Ghislaine some form of limited immunity. Why? Of all people. But like I said, there's nothing Trump is doing now that is surprising me. You know me. I was predicting from the onset. I was shouting. I was screaming. Don't let this lunatic get that power. But people thought I was crazy. Even caused some fights with certain people. They told me to go back to my country. I'm not American. It's okay. So I'll just be there watching. He can't escape Epstein. He can't escape Epstein. There are just too many pictures, too many stories. Today they said, oh, that the letter that he saw was maybe somebody wrote the letter and wrote his name. He can't just shake off Epstein. And again, it is his fault because he made it a campaign issue. The Republicans thought that they could sack the Democrats. They could call the Democrats pedos, all those things. No. Everybody's defending Trump. What a shame. Anyway, Gary, thank you for your time. Like I told you, all the things that are predicted to happen in America is happening. I mean, yesterday, I heard Marshall argue with someone about a banana republic. I have lived in a banana republic. America is becoming a banana republic. When you are Attorney General, he's flaunting rules. Your president is flaunting rules. That's how banana republics are made, if you don't know. Thank you very much. I yield.
Yeah, I specifically meant that we're not a banana republic with a junta, right? We still have local elections, we still have statewide elections, we still have national elections. We have many, many, many problems, but we are not a banana republic. And saying that we are takes us to a place where I don't think we get serious things done, and I think it makes it that much harder to get people to the middle to have the needed reforms necessary for government.
I'm saying America is heading towards there. Look at the actions of Bambondi. Look at the people Trump appointed, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino.
Okay, if you would like my opinion, yes, the United States could be headed there, but it's not because of Donald Trump. It's because of Donald Trump and all of the other presidents that we've ever had who have grown the executive branch into a kingship. Donald Trump is not the first president to have king-like powers. Joe Biden had them, Obama had them, George W. Bush had them, Clinton had them, George H.W. Bush had them,
Joe Biden was
Reagan
not
had them. No, that's not my point. My point is, if people are mad at the power of the executive, which they are, and they want it to be less powerful, then they need to address the power of the executive, not simply the office, not simply the person in the office, right? So that would have meant when Joe Biden had power, the Democratic Party should have said, the executive is too powerful, we need to go back to Congress and have Congress limit the executive's power. But here's the problem. Whenever either party is in power, they're like, no, it's my guys, so taking the power is tight, growing the power of the executive is cool, but when it's the next dude, it's dictatorial, it's Hitler-esque, it's Gestapo, and it winds up in this place where both parties point their fingers to the other, and all that happens is that the executive office gets more and more and more powerful, so that ideas like the unitary executive theory actually have purpose because of the way we think of the executive, and because of the amount of power we have given the executive. The unitary executive theory would not be such a powerful argument had we not had, say, the Patriot Act. The presidency would not be nearly as powerful, and it would be more repellent to the American public. My point is, it is not repellent to the American public because we have grown used to the imperial presidency. And it is that imperial presidency which we should seek to reduce, regardless of what party we are actually in.
I think you and Odin were basically agree, believe it or not. Folks, we're here Monday through Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. New York time, so until 5 p.m. New York time on Monday. For the next edition of the Critical Thinking Forum, everybody be safe, be well, have a great weekend, and peace out.
I'm
there were actual Palestinians that were on Zoom. But when it comes to Al Jazeera uses a lot of the bloggers. I'm sure others do too, but not the mainstream media because they didn't have a relationship with them. These bloggers, these YouTubers that were in Gaza, that were already writing about the atrocities in Gaza before October 7th. So Al Jazeera just switched over and said, "Can we work together?" But Western media sources, it never occurred to them to go and work with brown people.
This is what I do, right? I look at the Times of Israel, I look at Haaretz, I look at the CNN, and I look at a whole bunch of these mainstream, right? And a lot of times there's truth somewhere in the middle. You see what I'm saying? So Times of Israel will report it was Hamas that was the suspect of Hamas that was there or something that got killed. If you go to Al Jazeera, it'll be like a propaganda source. Oh, they just killed like 20 people. Same news. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it just depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for something, if Israel says something that's critical of Israel, the Times of Israel says something that's critical of Israel, that's more credible than Al Jazeera saying something that's critical of Israel.
Yeah.
If Al Jazeera says something critical of Palestinians, that would be more credible than if Israel said something critical of Palestinians. So, you base you pick the sources that are most credible for the answers you're looking for.
I like Haaretz, man. I like Haaretz. Their stories, oh my God, on point, man.
Yeah,
even Wall Street can't even compare to Haaretz. Haaretz stories, oh my God, on point. And the shit that they write against Israel and support of Palestine, I like it all. I think, and the guy, the publisher at the London conference, he said Hamas is resistant fighters. They should put sanctions on Israel, and that was it. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to, dive into this newspaper. I'm gonna become a member of it.
I think they're sanctioned in Israel.
Yeah, they put sanctions on the Haaretz, and so there's no government contracts anymore, but they still have millions of subscribers. And there's one or two towns inside Israel where the mayor of, I don't know, I forgot the name of the town, they blocked the sale of Haaretz because, Haaretz is like a leftist.
Yeah.
And some of these Israelis, they think that, this is anti-Israel newspaper, anti-this, anti-this. And I think some of the narrative comes off as like anti-Zionist narrative. You see what I'm saying? And it's one of the oldest newspapers since 1920s.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's interesting, man.
Yeah, they have a huge subscriber base too.
Hey, Shape, everybody, if you guys want to come on up. I don't know what you guys doing. I'm not sending you guys invite because I turned off the hand raising. Unmute, come on up. You don't need invitation, guys.
Shape, come on up, Shape. I know you're...
Alaikum assalam. Hey, what's up? Welcome, Mezze. Welcome, Shape.
Alaikum assalam. Shape is, it's Friday, so I'm sure the Shisha Pipe is coming out.
Yeah, of course. He's in his backyard in the pool.
Walaikum salam.
So, Shape, you've been hanging out with the Zionists recently? Today, yesterday? No? Are they toning down a little bit in some of the rooms?
Oh, you want to hear the most stupidest thing that Amos said? He said that Israel is going through a starvation too.
Well, I mean, they are pretty chunky people.
What did he say?
He said that Israel is going through, that both sides are going through starvation.
I mean, they are pretty chunky people.
Where the fuck did he get that from?
Well, I'll tell you where.
Palestine.
No,
Palestine was there.
There's a very logical explanation, and it's true. It's true.
What's
So,
the diet?
okay, no. I remember that everybody's going crazy
Someone
with
said
that.
they're starving for their humanity. Yeah.
No, this is why Amos has a point. So after October 7th, they stopped letting Palestinians that worked, hundreds of thousands of them in Israel, and a lot of them were chefs. A lot of them were chefs in restaurants. So, now you have Israelis or Indians.
Now they've got Indians. So
Now they're cooking, and so their diet has been diminished, and I feel bad for them. I really do. I mean, they're mixing curry with hummus. It's getting really bad.
I don't know how these brains work. They just build a complete different dimension and live in it.
That's what I'm saying. A society like that will not last.
I'm gonna ask him why he said that stupid shit.
No, but this is honestly, it really, you know when you used to learn about how Nazi society operated? This is what it's taking me back. When people like this Amos and his ilk talk and give their narrative, it reminds me of what we were taught about the Nazis and how they used to act, how they used to talk about themselves. It's just insane.
Well, the Nazis, though, I mean, they were bad. I mean, obviously, but the thing about them is, we knew what they wanted. They knew what they wanted. They said, we are the superior race, Our objective is to build and maintain the superior race and to get rid of those that are inferior. And to rule as much of the world as possible. Like, they had clear objectives. But
the Zionists don't?
No, the Zionists the Zionist objectives, they hide them behind,
I don't
their
think
own.
they hide them.
No, well, they hide them from themselves. They hide them from themselves. They say how this is right. This is, oh no, this, they have this moral compass, which they call Judaism, and they base it on Judaism, but Judaism has nothing to do with what they're doing.
For their own political gains.
So they lie to themselves first, so by the time they get to everybody else, by the time it gets to us, it's no longer a lie, it's something that's even past a lie.
Yeah, but they've convinced themselves, they've told the lie that many times to themselves.
Yes.
That it's become their truth.
Exactly.
It's insane.
So we got the UN chief says Gaza hunger a moral
Zionists kick me off.
crisis. Yeah. The UN chief says Gaza hunger a moral crisis. Aid is set to be scaled up in case of truce.
There was another thing, I'm not sure if you picked up on it. I believe, I'll have to find the article again. I believe there was an internal investigation. Was it by USAID? That they've concluded that there was no systematic looting of aid by Hamas. Or there was no looting of aid. Let me just double check and find the article.
Yeah, and see what the source is, please.
Bear with me.
Hey, what's up, Simone? Assalamu alaikum, brother. Welcome.
Funny enough, I just put the same thing in Google. First source is the Times of Israel.
The Times of Israel saying this too?
So there's an article, it says that it's titled, USAID finds no proof Hamas systematically loots aid, State Department IDF pushback.
That's such bullshit, the
Times of Israel.
that looting thing during starvation.
You said looting or not looting? You said not looting first.
You said looting.
Yeah, so obviously it's in the title. It says no proof Hamas is systematically looting aid or looting aid.
Okay.
So there's no
No,
proof.
no, that's the new thing that they're trying to push is this whole Hamas stealing food, which clearly there is no video.
No, but their own agencies.
It's not a new thing, it's an old thing, TJ.
Yeah, it's an old thing, but they're obviously their own agencies, USA.
No, like it's like being like now it's like being pushed even like into mainstream right now.
Oh yeah, so I heard a government spokesperson from Israel. He came on Sky News, I believe.
Yeah,
And he said
I read
that he goes that Israel is allowing aid. The starvation is coming from Hamas starving people. That's what he said.
World Food Program can't debunk that.
Yeah, but their own agencies are debunking them. No one else needs to debunk them. USAID has debunked it.
USAID.
Yeah, but you know what's interesting? You know what's interesting? is they always seem to find. So whenever there's something, for example, last time there was a shooting and they said, "Oh, Hamas shoots its own people."
Yeah.
Why is there no video evidence? Because they have drones in the sky, they have reporters, they've got soldiers.
No, General, it's worse. General, it's worse. That, when they did that, they showed the IDF on their YouTube page.
Yeah, no, we know, we spoke about it, because it was a completely different
A completely different video.
incident. Yeah.
And in that video, all you could see was a couple of militiamen who looked like militiamen
Yeah.
shooting at the ground.
Like dispersing
in
the crowd kind of
Exactly.
thing.
Yeah. This was their official IDF. Man, they're getting bad at lying.
So was it
They're pretty good at it.
systemic or systematic?
Systematic.
Okay, so then they're saying that there isn't a plan by Hamas in place to steal the aid.
Yeah, to loot it. But
Yeah.
what I was saying is, they have drones in the sky, they've got soldiers on the ground, intelligence agents on the ground. They seem to video everything.
Now
Why is
they're
that
doing, I see now new videos, they are now doing controlled demolitions of the houses that they destroyed.
Yeah, but they've been doing that for ages.
And no
Not controlled
videos,
demolition, they've just been destroying anything.
no videos of human shields either. I mean, they keep saying human shields.
See,
Yeah,
the
no
only
videos.
real evidence we have is them
Well,
doing it.
there are videos
Yeah, exactly.
of Israelis doing shoots. That's that. There's videos of them raping people. There's that. But the counter, in terms of proof, nothing.
Well, guys,
See, there's a phrase that really rings to mind, and it's quite poignant and quite accurate. Every accusation is a confession.
Yeah, where did that come from? Yeah, I've heard this.
That's a good one.
that was me. That was me, guys.
That's a good
No,
one.
that was Edward.
Every accusation is a
Confession.
That sounds like something I would say, guys.
So Mahmoud Aouda on the guy I watch on YouTube every day, every evening, when he gives us a report on Israel and politics and what's happening in Gaza, he's said this multiple times. Every accusation is a confession by these people, meaning the IDF or Israel.
With some of the pictures coming out, honestly, there was a BBC article I was reading, and I'm thinking to myself, it was about a disabled boy, and he died. He literally reminded me of pictures again.
Yeah, I saw that.
studied
They
about
didn't even
Holocaust.
blur his face or anything.
No, they didn't.
And
The
it's very
pictures I saw,
disgusting.
in school about the Holocaust, that's what it fucking reminded me of.
Yeah, it is.
People, it's not a nice picture. And imagine the countless families, kids, having to go through this. They're literally dying. And the rest of the world is fucking sitting on its laurels, debating whether to recognize a Palestinian state or not.
No. General, let me correct you. The whole global south and second
No, the global south generally recognizes it. The
No.
Western world, sorry.
the people that have the money and ability to actually stop it don't want to do it, and that's a problem.
Yeah, but apparently I was reading that Israel has now authorized, I think it was Middle Eastern countries, correct me if I'm wrong, it's allowed Middle Eastern countries to airdrop aid into Gaza now. I might be wrong, I read that somewhere earlier on in the morning.
Interesting.
I'm not sure if
That's
you came across
possible,
anything
but then
similar.
the reports which I've gotten is when the aid comes, then obviously the people now go to get what the aid, right? So as soon as the people get there, the Israelis basically play a red light, green light from the
Shooting.
and they just shoot them.
Yeah, I read that story too. They put, because you see the red light when you're in that maze thing.
Yeah.
That means stop, and then green light means you move forward, and they'll do they'll put the green light on and then turn it red and then shoot you.
Yeah, but
but you know what-
the
you know what's
difference
more-
here is there is no actual red light, green. It's just
Yeah, no,
the
there
way
is.
how
They
they
have
shoot it
lights.
is very similar to that TV show, and it's very
Yeah,
assaulting.
but no, they do have lights. This is what they actually literally are doing. They have lights and it tells you, okay, red, stop, when you're in line, you move forward from, when you go into the maze thing, at the end of the maze, then there's a big area, then you go up, like, to the area to get your food. So red, and then when it turns green, you move forward, and it's your turn to get the food, but it'll go red to green, and then as soon as you step out, red, and then they shoot you, and they laugh about it.
That is psychotic as fuck.
I know.
did not know.
With regards to what you're saying, you know what's really frustrating and disheartening is when you look at the pictures and images of people clamoring for aid on top of each other. These people have literally got nothing on their plate. You can see how malnourished they are. What I find frustrating, and actually it's quite upsetting to an extent, that we're seeing people that have been forced into such desperation that they're clamoring over each other with their empty dishes for aid. And a lot of these people are probably my parents' age, my grandparents' age, my siblings' age, people younger than me. People can't handle this. I can't, and I'm a cunt. With regards to, I'm very cold.
When did you become a cunt?
He's a cunt.
I was born a cunt.
That's how Europeans talk. We don't use cunt here.
Sorry, yes, it's not American.
No, I was just wondering what date. Do you have a time and date stamp? When did it happen?
Was brought there.
No, I get it, Lisa, but the problem is that they also have to do it under the guise of the legal protocols, right? So they're going to use all these pieces under the legal guise in order to use the smoke and mirrors. That's the point, right? They can't go on and just go on a rampage and do whatever the hell they want, even though they've been doing that. They still got to do it under the legal guise. So they're going to question her and act like they're giving her immunity and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's just a bunch of bullshit at the end of the day.
So you think Gasoline went in there with all her notes and all her stuff and wasn't assured that she was going to get off? I mean, what the fuck? That she could have went the other route, if that was the case, and give Trump's dumb ass up. That's what she could have did.
But limited immunity means that it's limited. It doesn't mean that she didn't have full immunity. She only has limited immunity, so it's only parts and pieces to her. So what are the parts and pieces that she's actually got, we don't know.
No, so pretty much when you're talking about, when they say limited, they're talking about proffer, right? So like, that means like whatever she gives as an answer means that they can't use it later to prosecute her.
Exactly.
So it's so when you say limited immunity, it doesn't mean you're immune from cookies and ice cream, right? So whatever answer she gives, it just protects her from future, from like someone coming after her because now she gave answers. Because you got to remember that when they did ask her questions, she pleaded the fifth. So now she might be answering the questions that she pleaded the fifth on. So if they and that's what they mean by it. It's just proffer. That's it.
Well, Dr. Agee's agreeing with me. She's like, it's not full or absolute though. And that was the point I was making. I understand that it's not cookies and cream, but I get
No. What I'm saying is, so limited is based, when they're giving her limited immunity, right? That's proffer immunity. So that means like, if they ask you, like say they're giving you limited immunity, that it's based off the questions that they ask you. So your immunity is based off whatever questions they ask you and the answers that you give. So if they ask her, it's not like it's just on, it's in a certain area and they can ask her in this area and then start asking in that area and then now she fucked herself. No, whatever they ask her, that is what the limitations is.
She's just trying to find a way to get the fuck out of jail. At any way possible, and any means possible. That's just the bottom line.
Let's also remember, she's a convicted liar, right? Like, she was convicted of perjury. So whatever she provides, it's like, not, like, even if she were to become a witness at a trial, it would basically be, it could easily be treated as unreliable. In fact, it probably should be.
She's presented over 100 names. and that's all that's going to matter. When they put her in front of Congress, as I said previously, and CEO and Anthony, you guys can speak to this. If they put her in front of Congress in a congressional hearing, which will probably be one of the biggest congressional hearings of all times, those 100 names that she has already provided, which will likely leak within the next 2 days to the press, those 100 names, likely including Bill Clinton, will be what the public knows. Whether it's the truth or not no longer matters at all.
Yeah, but you just put names out there without any, without any real, without any real facts. That doesn't make sense.
Facts don't matter, man.
Well, I realize that. I do know that. But I'm saying, if you're just putting names out there arbitrarily, I mean, it doesn't make sense. They've already put Obama's name out there as being on Epstein Island. I mean, get the fuck out of here with that dumb shit. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just one stupidity after the other.
And see, I think that's why they gave her limited. So, like, say for example, or that proffer. So, say for example, they ask her additional questions, and they get now they can't use it against her, but what they can do is they can use what she said for like evidence for other people. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Like, right. So,
yeah, like they could use it to inform their investigation.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah. So it wouldn't be used against her, but they can use it against other people.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I don't think we should be celebrating this because of the 100 names that will leak, it will be Democrats and actors or
100%.
Republicans Trump doesn't like. It's not going to be the entire list.
100% CEO, and my mom's sitting next to me. We're getting ready to go eat Italian dinner. But this is why I was telling you guys you need to be worried about the setup, because it's not going to be people that it's not going to be everybody, and it's the reason why you did a 2-person proffer and then a limited immunity, so that when she testifies, if she testifies what you like, you can grant her a full pardon based upon X, Y, and Z, right? This is why they called the influencers to the White House, so that they can prepare and say, when Ghislaine testifies, it is going to be she was under duress. This was propagated by evil Democrats. This was coerced, and that's why suddenly now Trump is saying there is a list. So it's on. Anyway, Brian, I know what I'm talking about.
You don't. You don't.
Can I speak? Can I speak? Can I speak?
Totally not true. You don't know what you're talking about.
You guys. Oh Lord Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, again, the biggest giveaway here.
Hold on, CEO, hold on. Go ahead, Lisa. Lisa.
Hello? You guys got it. Can you guys actually hear me? Because I'm on the bridge again.
No, we can hear you now. We can hear you.
I just want to tell you guys, and Trent, while he's still on the stage, I really do not care if it's a Democrat, Republican, Independent, whoever. We are, once again, let's remind you, Trump-loving Negroes, that we're talking about children who were raped. I don't give a fuck whose name is a 100. If you have put your member in a child, you deserve to be dealt with to the highest extent of the law, period. Okay? So I don't know why you say get ready. Them motherfuckers need to get ready. Whoever was raping children need to get ready. I don't need to get ready for shit. I didn't do nothing. So that's my whole thing. And of course, Gasoline is trying to get out. I would be trying to get out too. She's a human being. She's a despicable bitch, but she wants to get out. So she's using her leverage. She's been sending notes home, pieces of paper, not home, giving it to her brother. Her brother said that she's giving him pieces of paper from her diary that she writes in every single day. So there is, whatever they don't accomplish, I know she said to them, okay, you fuck around and find out. If you don't let me out of here, I'm going to tell the rest of the, 999? No. Yeah, 999 other names. So, yeah, she's doing what she needs to do. I can't stand her. She needs to be in prison for life for what is the word? being a person who supplied these children to these creeps.
A co-conspirator. A co-conspirator.
Yeah. So I don't give a fuck about her. None of these people on this fucking list. They can all go fucking down. Clinton and all the rest of them. So what are you talking about right now? Are you okay?
Yeah, so Lisa, so serious question. I just want to ask you how much the justice is worth to you. Is it worth it for it to only be Democrats and Hollywood actors, and for it not to be Trump? Let me finish, please. And for it to not be Trump, and for it to not be anyone Trump wants to protect, and for her to get a pardon out of this. Is that worth it to you?
You know what, CEO, to be honest with you, one child molester, one person who had sex with somebody in the 8th grade is worth it to me. I don't know what we're doing right now. What are you trying to say?
So
I mean, because it's not. You wanted to lay it out the way you want it laid out. I mean, really.
But Lisa, how do you know that he's not using this as to weaponize against his enemies? This is what you're not understanding. What CEO is getting at, right? So, say for example, he don't like Mikey and Mickey. Mikey and Mickey might have just been on a plane on a flight log. Well, now he can use. But it's a difference because they may have never touched anyone. But because he says it, now it becomes gold. The problem is she should have been able to. She should have had these conversations well before this. Now she's using it as a tool, and he's using it as a tool against his enemies. So we really don't know if these people actually did do something unless those files are released. The files are the evidence. What she has to say means nothing.
But what are in the files? You guys don't even know what are in the files.
Testimony, sworn statements.
What's in the wait. What's in the files? Can I ask? Wait a minute. Is what's in the files who had sex with whom?
There are videos. So the young lady testified. The woman that was in New York, the girls that were in Florida have said there are videos throughout the home. They have videos.
Yeah, we talked about that.
There are videos. You think Ghislaine is fucking gonna sit here and give you the good, the on? She's gonna give Trump what he wants so she can get the fuck out. So we really won't know the truth of the matter unless those fucking files are released.
And they won't.
I agree with you.
And to me, it's not worth it. It's a waste of time. Right now, this is for the Anthonys. You see how you put in the chat Democrats are cooked or whatever the fuck you put in there? That's because you got dummies out here that's gonna believe this. Instead of fucking asking, can we get the information? Can we get the information? Can we get the information? They're more concerned with seeing their political rivals get maybe blamed for something that they may not have anything to do with. So now while you're thinking, oh, if we could get one person that slept with a 13-year-old, there's a possibility they never touched a 13-year-old. They may have just been on a goddamn flight log.
Yeah. Okay, so if that's the case, hold up. If that's okay, you guys got it. I don't have anything else to say because I'm not gonna sit here and try to rationalize. Nah, you guys.
Lisa, this is important. Please do. Please get your point. This is an important conversation.
Y'all on mute.
I mean, if she's not gonna go, I'll go. I was waiting for Lisa.
About a goddamn woman that fucking trafficked children, so her boyfriend can get his rocks off. Are we really mad about a conversation because someone doesn't agree with her having her being the center of attention?
I mean, she's accused of rape too.
The only thing I came off tonight to say was the way that Trent was describing the proffer wasn't correct, because it seems to be this thing like the proffer can never be used like against her, and that's not true. There are very limited instances where information that she provides can be used against her. So it's not an absolute guarantee that she will not encounter or incur any damage from this. It's unlikely, but it is not a guarantee. The other thing is a proffer cannot contain any promises related to her case. If the proffer contains that, because all proffers are written, they have to be written, they have to be submitted to her lawyer. Her lawyer is supposed to go over it with her to make sure that her interests are well represented and protected. And when they go before the judge, they have to produce that proffer. And if that proffer contains any promise related to her case, a judge is going to dismiss it. It's going to become null and void because the proffer isn't supposed to, they're not supposed to do that. That's illegal. So those are just like the two things that were stated. I wanted to correct them.
I also want to say, like,
shouldn't the proffer protect her unless she like lies? Like so from my understanding, when it comes to a proffer, like if you lie, then yeah, you fucked, right? Or if you say something that's different, like if you contradict yourself, you're fucked. And that's the only time they can actually use it against you, because it's like
it's not the only time. There are very limited circumstances under which the information that she provides in the proffer,
or if they find other proof.
Because if it, I'm sorry,
if they find other proof,
right, and then how the proffer would work in that situation is they can't use her quote unquote incriminating information to exacerbate her penalty. So they can't say, well, yeah, she admitted it, so now we want to give her 5 extra years. Like they can't use it to I guess I already repeated that, to exacerbate her penalty.
Oh, the only
I
thing
got
you're
up at
working is a
5.
bottle of
I
vodka
met
right
some
now.
friends.
روق شوي روق شوي حبيبتي
I know. You guys
Oh,
are
wait,
annoying all the time.
Pearl.
Yeah, why?
What do you think? What do you think of what do you think of the killing of the Kurds in Iraq by Saddam Hussein? By what did he use? Nerve gas or some?
That was very regretful, but maybe they shouldn't have been in cahoots with Iran, helping them get over the border.
Regretful.
Helping them get over the border.
Serious.
Helping Iranian enemies infiltrate our country.
She's behind it. How many died? How many died?
How
many died, Pearl?
It's unclear.
She's done this.
The numbers are hyperbole.
Okay, this is her belief from before. This isn't just tonight. She believes.
No, I said it's regretful. I said it's terrible and it's regretful.
No, it doesn't matter, Shape. This is what
Perhaps they should have betrayed the country for which they live in.
So they deserve to be chemically
rebel a dictator.
So they should be killed by chemical weapons.
Pearl, regretful is me forgetting to lock the door.
You're asking for trouble. You obviously live in the West, where you have absolutely no idea.
What do you think of Saddam Hussein?
What do you
think of Saddam Hussein?
Hold on, let me explain, Pearl. Since you like Webster's dictionary, let me tell you the appropriate use of regretful. Dropping wine on your white dress. Drinking a lot of vodka before 7 o'clock, 7:30.
You don't understand Saddam, so don't talk trash.
Leaving the cake in the oven too long. All of these things are regretful.
Talking shit about Saddam. How much did Saddam help the Palestinians?
Okay, no, let me start the shit. I want to know, what do you say about Saddam Hussein?
Running out of mascara, that's regretful. Dropping chemical weapons on women and children.
Don't talk about it.
That's not regretful.
She said her words were.
You know what you read in Western media? Allah yarhamu, yes.
That's what she says about Saddam Hussein.
Palestinians, Edward. What's the problem?
Girl, what do you make of Tariq Aziz?
Why do you disrespect Saddam?
Why do you not like Tariq Aziz?
You think I'm going to say it because he helped, or supposedly helped, or let's say he helped Palestinians. He helps Palestinians, and then what? That means he can go and kill tens to hundreds of thousands of innocent people? What are you talking about?
We've been helping. They're innocent. I just told you they helped Iranians cross the border.
They killed everybody. Women, children, old men, young men, everybody.
Then
what are you talking about?
Oh, really? They killed everybody?
That's what chemical weapons do.
Edward, shut the fuck
weapon of mass
why is the
destruction.
Kurdish-
There's a reason it's called
why-
mass
why-
destruction,
why-
Pearl.
Shut up.
Pearl,
Why
are you
is the
Chaldean?
Why is the Kurdish
you
population?
Yes, she is.
Why is the
You must
Kurdish
be Chaldean, Nina.
Why is the
Like,
Kurdish population
seriously?
50 million then?
You must be
If we killed
Chaldean.
everybody. I'm confused how the Kurdish population is 50 million.
That's not the point. The point is you're
How
fine with that, with Saddam
is
Hussein
that
dropping chemical weapons on them.
You literally said we killed everybody. How are they 50
No. The ones that the villages that he dropped the chemical weapons
Everybody?
on. Everybody, or near everybody.
That's an exaggeration.
Okay. Did women, children, the elderly, infants? Did they not all perish
Maybe
when
you
you did
shouldn't
that?
openly rebel against a dictator and help his
Are you
enemies
fucking serious?
cross
Yes, she's
country
serious.
lines.
I've heard her before.
Are you
She's justifying.
Do you
Yeah,
guys
she's
have any
justifying the
idea?
usage
You know,
of
I've
chemical
never
weapons.
in my
Yes.
life heard
When I brought this up, she said Saddam Hussein Ali Hamo. That's what she said when I brought this up.
With you, you're disgusting.
No Palestinians agree.
What she should hope
None.
is to be an obedient little bitch when she's when she's frustrated about anything. Just quietly sit in your corner and don't do anything.
Do you believe that she's a cardiologist?
Dumbass. Who is this?
Absolutely not.
She's a cardiologist.
She's not. If she's a cardiologist, I'm Queen Latifah.
I'm telling you, she's a doctor. She's a cardiologist on top of that.
There's no
It's really
compassion.
insane.
There's no understanding.
No, none.
What kind of cardiologist is she?
Hello. I didn't design her.
Understanding. I'm a British whore. Like, I don't care
Bitch
who
is
you
barking.
are. I'm not engaging with
This
you.
is how
I'm
she's
talking to
defending
Edward.
herself.
Why so much vodka, Pearl? Why?
I'm talking to Edward. Excuse me.
She must be stressed.
Edward does not have a British accent.
Yeah, well, I don't know why he's talking. Like, he's nobody.
Yeah, she's
You're
definitely
not
had
a
vodka.
friend.
Hello, yes. Are you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Go on.
Okay, yeah. The lady called General. I don't know what is offering in this room. Why you guys don't take care of her to put her down?
The lady called
Put
General.
her down. Put her down.
Yeah, General.
Yeah, the lady went after General, so now it's time to put her down. But when she goes after Edward,
Amir.
no, nothing.
Yalla.
It's the British accent.
You kicked me down.
It seems like we are talking here about something
You would do
serious,
me a
and then-
favor rather
and then
than
you guys are
engaging with
asking
people
one
with
another.
half a brain. Half a brain. Yes,
Pearl,
Allah.
you won't
It's
say
so
that
fresh.
using chemical weapons is bad,
But
right?
you guys, yes, I agree. It was bad. I agree.
But
She would have took him to the Philippines and had him killed for $500.
Period. What we talking about? Listen, the men in my family don't even play like that. Like, what are we talking about? So we are literally.
Imagine your daddy saying we have sex in common.
Yeah.
so gross, disgusting.
That shit is disgusting.
Yeah, but
Can you
it's
imagine
like
somebody playing a recording and they talking about your daddy grabbing females by the pussy?
But y'all
Yeah,
okay
embarrassed
with
as
that?
fuck.
And the MAGAs don't have nothing to say about that. They gloss over that shit all the time, Patty, which aggravates the fuck out of me.
100% agree, and I think I'm glad that Haitians said something. It is an important distinction because, as you pointed out, we're talking about a man whose language is, as he's written off as, oh, it's just locker room talk. Even though he talked about his sexualizing his own daughter. She wasn't my daughter. Man, look at her. She's smoking. Peeping into the beauty pageant locker rooms and bathrooms. We have now seen, like, this isn't January 6th, right? We're not seeing Trump apologists for January 6th and like, oh, the election was stolen. We're actually seeing they're showing themselves. There have been multiple MAGAs that have been, I'm sorry to say it, if this is not a bridge too far for them, you're a petty apologist, saying like, oh, well, it's I swear, like, there have been rooms this week where some folks have been literally all but saying, well, 13, 14, is that really a kid? Were they wearing a lot of
Exactly. What the hell is that about?
Yeah. It's like, those nasty attorneys that can get in the courtroom and grill adult women, right? That were sexually assaulted, and then they go up, the defense attorneys, right? And when they're like, well, was it not true you were wearing a very short skirt on that particular evening? Is it not true that you were wearing excessive makeup? It's that kind of line of questioning that is so sick and perverted that is, again, like literally truly blaming the victim. Never mind that Gasoline was first apparently started vetting out and recruiting these underage women at Mar-a-Lago. There's a whole political article to a fact that backs that up, that has interviews with a couple of these masseuses that remembers the specifics of the time of day when she was approached by Maxwell and said, hey, I hear you're a good masseuse. My boss is looking for his private masseuse on this exotic island. Who's going to say no to that, right? And she further says that when we got there, we were essentially forced to have sex with Epstein's friends. What is their motivation for lying? They're not politically aligned. They didn't think they're going to sue this billionaire hundreds of millions. They're speaking the truth. But yet these MAGAs stand on their square and 10 toes down that, no, not the Messiah, because, hey, if he's on that list, well, what about Clinton? What about all these other guys? What about Prince so-and-so? And absolutely, at least 100,000,000%, I don't give a fuck what side of the aisle. If you're on that list, you're on that list, and you need to be absolutely held accountable to the full extent of the law. But these MAGAs are so diseased, and I'm so glad they're truly showing their true colors, because this makes January 6th look like a meeting at the lodge that got a little out of hand, like a bar fight. Like, you're talking about standing behind someone who there's all kinds of arrows pointing to him and Epstein, and knowing and participating with these underage women. Shame on you.
I agree with you, Moose. Oh my God, I so agree with everything.
And I want to say something to Dr. AG real quick. Dr. AG, you are not just a girl. But I have learned on this app, and even having these women are a lot smarter than the men.
Yes.
Even the fucking Suklas on the fucking app.
Oh, not
Sukla says some crazy shit, but Sukla will twist history, but she have dates. How she twisted, I have no idea. But she has the dates. She can go back and forth with men. Like, women are smarter than a lot of these men. So just be a girl, because girls are way smarter than these men on this app. We've been
rules nationwide to even wake up and
yeah. With that being said, I have a
it's just not being explained simply enough. Or
ladies,
okay, my bad. Yeah,
there's millions.
I just want to say this, right?
No, I'm saying that the ladies are usually smarter than the men. On this app. I'm just talking about this app.
Nah, but Patty, in real life, it's the same way. Y'all be our downfall, so.
Let me say this, right? In Kansas City, in Missouri, there is an actual state senator who tried to introduce a bill to literally say that it would be legal for you to be able to marry a girl at 12 years old. This is the kind of weird shit that I'm talking about. Like, this is the shit that's going on around the country. Not in just what's happened on the federal side, but on the local side. They are introducing bills to be able to lower the age of marriage and consent in a lot of states. This is not funny anymore. This is dangerous as fuck. And we need to really be mindful on that. I'm gonna go.
Hey everybody, we finished for the day.
This is Maxwell's attorney talking.
Started this morning right around 9 o'clock and went to now lunchtime, and we're finished after all day yesterday and today. Glenn answered every single question asked of her over the last day and a half. She answered those questions honestly, truthfully, to the best of her ability. She never invoked privilege. She never refused to answer a question. So we're very proud of her. We're proud of how the process has worked over the past day and a half. I will say this, she has been treated unfairly for the past 5 years. She didn't get a fair trial. We're still appealing to the Supreme Court. We're going to be filing a reply in the Supreme Court on her cert petition on Monday. Remember, people have questioned her honesty, which I think is just wrong. Remember, a juror lied to get onto the jury, admitted to lying to get onto her jury. She did not get a fair trial. No prosecutor even mentioned her until Epstein died. So we feel that the process for Ghislaine has been unfair. She was denied bail. She was treated worse than an animal would be treated in jail when she was first held, woken up every 15 minutes. So we're just trying to get through the process where we are now and get her some relief. So that's where we are today. Do you feel like you're going to get some relief as a result of the conversation you've been having the last couple of days? We don't know. We don't know how it's going to play out. We just know that this was the first opportunity she's ever been given to answer questions about what happened. And so the truth will come out about what happened with Mr. Epstein, and she's the person who's answering those questions. We don't think this will affect her appeal. We're appealing on a very important ground, which is the government at the time promised her that, promised Jeffrey Epstein that any potential co-conspirators would not be prosecuted. And so she deserves that promise. And I'm surprised. I don't think President Trump knows that the Justice Department took the position that that promise should not be upheld. President Trump is the ultimate deal maker. He knows that a promise made on behalf of the government should bind the government. And so we're hoping the Supreme Court agrees with us that when the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of Florida promised that no potential co-conspirators would be prosecuted, that bound the Southern District of New York as well. I'm sorry?
That was it.
So you all aren't very concerned after hearing his comment?
Who's you all?
Absolutely not.
Nope.
Worried about which part? Like, what do you mean by that?
He sounds way too comfortable. He sounds very, like they had a very productive meeting. And I think you said it earlier, Your Honor, this is all going to be PR and politics. This is not going to be about justice. And Trump is crafting a way to basically get away from all this scot-free, just use it as a political football, and it end up being damaging to one side of the aisle and not the other.
It's already damaging. It's already damaging to Trump and the MAGA side. It doesn't even matter what happened.
Yeah, but the biggest giveaway to this was that Pam Bondi was not in the room. Instead, it was the person Trump's been working with for years. So this is all structured just to go cut sweat. Y'all can believe in unicorns and Santa Claus if you want to, but this is being structured to benefit Trump.
I agree with you.
I mean, I realize that, but the way you're positioning it makes it seem like we're trying to defend things that come out like, if Clinton was involved. We don't give a fuck.
No, I'm not.
All he said was, you don't see this as problematic. That's all he said. That's it.
Yeah, I think the more of this that comes out, people are going to see right through whatever the results are. So I don't really care if actors or Democrats, people are going to know that Republicans are also in MAGA and Trump.
But they're not going to be named. It
doesn't matter.
It's going to be the narrative. The narrative will cut one way.
No, Ghislaine is already damaged goods. and she's already purged.
That's for you, though. You gotta remember his base is loyal. So when they get enough information, they're gonna be like, okay, yeah, we're satisfied.
I don't believe that. I think that they are gonna want specifics. Them people not playing. They want to know. And Pam Bondi already said that there are people named in them files, but they don't have enough information to prosecute the people. Those MAGA, they want to know them names. I think y'all are underestimating them or overestimating Trump's magical power over them. I think this child sex thing, it is an obsession with these people. Justice against child sex predators is an obsession with these people. And I think he's scrambling, but I think throwing them these crumbs, it's not going to work.
I don't know, maybe I'm not
but
saying.
all these, so even with the documentaries, these women have already spoke on what happened with Trump, and like the two girls, the girl that was working in the mansion and the sister that was recruited. She's already had that conversation. They didn't give a fuck then. Like now they're upset when it's already been revealed that this is a lot of this information is not new.
Yeah, I think the implication of the children.
I want to ask Dr. AJ a question real quick.
But I'm gonna.
Okay, so Dr. AJ, I just want to ask you a question because I want to make sure I'm saying this so you're understanding me. I'm saying they are going to get names. MAGA will get names, but the only names they'll get are Democrats and Hollywood actors. You don't think we'll be very satisfied and thrilled with that and giddy even?
No. I think they're going to see.
I do not.
The cat's out of the bag here.
So these people that you always complain about how stupid they are.
You don't hear me say that.
Trump. I'm just giving a general opinion.
Okay.
I know Scotty has definitely said it. So for stupid, 99% of the time, but this is the one time you think that they're going to express some level of nuance and see through something. Guess what? It's a dopamine hit for them. All the MAGA influencers will take this and amplify it. It will make their views and their engagement go through the roof, and it will be amplified so heavily that people will believe it because it keeps getting shoved down their throat.
This is red meat for the MAGA that is already defending pedophilia and Trump anyway.
No.
It's not going to convert people who have already left the ship because they're not going to buy Ghislaine Maxwell as the definitive testimony.
Scotty.
It's not going to happen.
Like literally. It's the same people who were like all focused on this, and then when they threw out the Obama stuff, they started saying Obama. It will convince all them, right? And then I hate to say it, but there's a whole bunch of independents that don't normally pay attention to politics, and they'll just hear this story. They won't have all the other context.
It's not going to convince Marjorie Taylor Greene.
No.
They want red meat. They want it now. You did not feed them when they wanted it. You said you was going to feed them. They're waiting and waiting and waiting. And now you're supposed to bring the plate. You're saying, oh, actually, there's nothing there. So people are going to be doubtful, even if you show them the proof. You show them the proof, all the documents, even if, let's just say he did or he didn't. Either way, they're not going to believe you because you held it so long. And that's going to be the issue. So even if every document said it was him or every document said it wasn't him, they're not going to believe you. Now he effed up his base. The first thing he should have done is this is what happened. Put everything on the table. Because you held it back, they don't believe you anymore. And now your base is fading away.
And now all of your credibility is hinging on Ghislaine Maxwell, who's already a convicted sex trafficker, and that's what you're going on as
you
your
said
proof?
You said the top person who normally doesn't go from DC to a Florida prison to go talk to her in person. That never happens. By you doing that, you're already showing your cards. If you send an average attorney to go deal with that and interrogate her and get some information, fine, because it's not a big deal. You send your top guy, your top person, to go deal with that, it shows a lot. Why are you not sending somebody else? No, you send your top person because you're trying to hide something. Or you're not trying to hide something. Either way, it looks bad. PR, it looks horrible in every way, shape, or form. So now you have to do something about it.